The Federal and SR Public Welfare Trust present the Pudukkottai Marathon 2025. This event is co-presented by Rupee Apex Group of Companies on Sunday, August 3.
If Tamil Nadu has to grow, then we need Parandur Airport. It is like becoming like one nation, one election and one airport.
So it is all just a power move to show
Stage
that,
managed.
right?
It's a stage managed show of all the land transactions that has happened in the last 5-6 years surrounding the Parandur Airport. Then the truth will come. Will this happen to any politician's native village? The protesters are very upbeat about the support that they have received from the Vijay's party. Chief Minister is saying, I'm coming to your doorstep. There's a complete apathy that is happening in a place which is very close to Chennai.
Hello Federal viewers, welcome to another exclusive interview. The spotlight is back on the Chennai secondary airport, the Greenfield airport proposed in Parandur, where protests are going on over 1,000 days. The district authorities seem to have gained a momentum as they've already acquired 17.52 acres of land. But tensions continue to prevail on ground as Ekanapuram, the prominent village which is leading the protests, is ignored from the negotiation meetings. To discuss more on this issue, we have with us environmentalist, climate activist and coordinator of Poovulagin Nanbargal, Mr. G Sundarrajan sir. So thank you so much for talking to us. So my first question is Ekanapuram, a village which is prominently leading the protest, which has around 900 acres of land in the proposed project, has been omitted from the negotiation meetings which was happening on July 16. Now, how do you see this move? Is this deliberate, to avoid resistance? How do you see it?
Yeah, actually, the government thinks they can buy the land surrounding the land owned by the people of Ekanapuram, and then it will become an obvious pressure on them to sell off and go. So, if you see the GO, which was published recently by the government, it itself is a false GO. Why I'm saying that is, in the prices that they mentioned, land acquisition price that they mentioned, they would have said land price fixed after discussions. Ekanapuram also was mentioned there. Okay. But not even once Ekanapuram was discussed. Ekanapuram's people were discussed about this land price, not even once. But they mentioned post the discussions, this is the price that they are trying to offer. But there was no discussions or deliberations with the people of Ekanapuram. So that itself is wrong. So the government thinks that, pulling the people,
right,
trying to show the power that, we have acquired all the other land, so you'll have to sell and go. I think that is the strategy of the government.
Right, I was just coming to that point where the government is trying to taunt the villagers protesting. Like, how do you see this move? The government says that they've gained the momentum, acquiring 17.52 acres of land from 19 landowners, if I'm not wrong. But there are also claims which is going around saying that these landowners are not farmers. They are people who have vacated the land years ago and they've shown willingness to sell the land. So is this a move to taunt the villagers? Because they've given around 9 crores, more than 9 crores even as compensation for these people. So is this a taunt?
When the government announced this compensation package of land cost plus other things, the government thought that people will come forward and hand over the land. Right. But see, 80% of the landowners will get roughly about 35 lakhs of per acre. 80% of landowners.
Okay.
There are few landowners who will get about 1 crore, 1.5 crore, 2 crore like that. Those are lands which are very close to the main road and probably very small in actual numbers.
Okay.
So the government was thinking that they will give 35 lakhs, so people will come and give the land. But unfortunately, what has happened was, what was promised to the people initially was, they will be getting 3 times of the market value.
Correct.
But the government announced 35 lakhs per acre. So, previous to the announcement of GO, probably 4 or 5 villages who are losing their hamlets, which is basically the houses,
right,
plus land, were protesting seriously. The others were like, okay, we will join the protest whenever it's required. But after this announcement, all the villages came together and said, we are rejecting this compensation package. So to avoid that and to tell the people who are at the powers of center, the collector of Kanjipuram district organized pre-planned acquisition mode where the people who left that village 30-40 years back and the lands are in their grandmother's name, and people who have purchased from outside, inside this thing. So only those people were called, and the land was money was transferred and acquired.
There's a widespread narrative that's going on when talking about compensation. The narrative says that the farmers are ready to take compensation, ready to give up the lands. The only thing is they need more compensation. Is this true, and how far is it true, and who do you think are building these narratives?
The project of Parandur airport is being driven by people who have invested in the nearby areas for real estate gains. It could be politicians, it could be officers, it could be anybody. So only those people are driving this narrative of that we need a second airport. If Tamil Nadu has to grow, then we need Parandur airport. It is like becoming like one nation, one election and one airport.
Sir, it comes back to the allegations that Subramani, who is leading the protests from Ekanapuram, kept in the recent protests. He alleged that there is a lot of lobbying that's happening just 3 kilometers away from Parandur. There is an like entire urban village that is going to come. There are a group of IAS officers. There's some building company called DJ Builders. He in fact released the tender that he got.
Subramaniam says he has taken that document. Roughly about 250 acres has been purchased in the company's name and the company's promoter's son's name. The document is with him. So this transaction has happened in the last few years' time. So on whose behalf he has purchased that land? So in fact, we will go one step further and ask the government to initiate an inquiry of all the land transactions that has happened in the last 5-6 years surrounding the Parandur airport. Then the truth will come. Will this happen to any politician's native village? Is the ministers who hail from rural areas of Tamil Nadu, will they allow their own villages to be squandered or be taken over for any industrial park? They will not allow, right? See, and also Tamil Nadu has not seen a mass displacement in the last 30-40 years. It will be the first time that you will be witnessing villages and villages vacating their places, carrying their loads on their heads with the small Tata Ace vehicles and going to new places. This we have not seen in the last so many decades. So don't you have to have more empathy, more sympathy, more concern for their emotions? You should give that, right? You have not gone and talked to them. So when one side of the chief minister is saying, I'm coming to your doorstep, there's a complete apathy that is happening in a place which is very close to Chennai. And it has been highlighted in the different media. So there's no, I would say there's no, empathy towards those people is what I want to say.
What is your one-word take on Ungaludan Stalin then?
See, Ungaludan Stalin, it's on the paper front, when they look up, it's a good initiative like, government at your doorstep. But actually, where it has to go, is it going, is a question that I would like to ask. People of Parandur, not only Parandur, there are many places where in Tamil Nadu, a lot of things are happening, like the quarries that are happening, illegal quarries, lot of things are happening, a lot of villages are getting affected. So is this government missionary going to those places and understanding what is happening there? It's a question mark.
So you mentioned about political leaders not going and meeting the protesters on the site. TVK leader and actor Vijay did that, and there was a lot of traction around it. He in fact said that if the CM does not come and meet the protesters, he will take them and march to the secretariat. If that happens,
if the government and the chief minister wants to take a cue out of this, should accept this and meet people in the secretariat. This is what our request would be. The protesters are very upbeat about the support that they have received from the Vijay's party. So they are upbeat about that. We are very keen that all the political parties should take environment as a primary thing, which we will work towards that.